Ladies and gentlemen, it's your host for today, DJ Comic K, coming to you live 9:23 a.m. on West Coast, California. Should be around 16:23 GMT. Unfortunately, I am aware that there is a time conversion today. I think most of Europe actually, daylight saving time has changed the hour, so the scheduled time might have been a little bit confusing for people who have not yet set back their clock, but otherwise, we are starting the auction very, very shortly here. The ESOC Premier League 2. 6 team managers going to be drafting their rosters for the season. This season going to be around 2 months with a 6-month roster phase. And we do have something coming in real quick. Let me take a look at what that is. Silver Shield 314, thank you for the subscription to ESOC TV. But to explain a little bit about how this live auction is going to work, each team manager will start the bidding with 10,000 duck coins. These duck coins can be used to bid on players in a nomination process. The nomination process will go from one manager to the next in a repeating order. This year, starting with the Mandarin Duck Squad, then the Nilla Ninjas, then SKG, then CMC, then the Bigs, then the New World Challengers, and then we'll repeat. Each manager is able to skip their nomination phase once during the auction. And once the bidding starts, the nominating team will place the first bid at 500 duck coins. The bids may only be made on intervals of 25 duck coins, and with a minimum upbid of 25 duck coins as well. So it'll go 500, 525, 600, 650, 2,000, etc. But those are the core rules. There will be a 20-minute transaction period. If there is no new bids placed in that time, a player will be sold to the highest bid in the channel, sold to that team. And that covers most of the roles. But otherwise, we have a very, very extensive roster here in the voice chat. I think it might have even broken the voice commands. I'm looking at my OBS, and it seems a little bit broken. I'm going to unmute myself right now, and we'll just hop into everything.
But as it stands now, because it's changed a bit.
Hello, gentlemen. We are live on stream at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Well,
right.
Hello, everybody.
Hey everyone, what's going on?
Well, hi.
Oh, Gökhan.
Hey.
Oh, big
Hello.
guy
So
to the channel.
We're here with 12 people on the voice call and it's already falling silent.
Yeah, so well, we've just started all very unexpectedly. Perhaps Comic K will give us a very brief introduction of what he expects from these 12 people here, and also what it is that we're watching.
Absolutely. So this is just the boys chat, you know. Obviously, we'll be watching the events and seeing at them as they unfold and commentating them to a slight degree. But other than that, it doesn't have to be specifically content focused. I'm happy to have all of you friends here today, and that's
I can
the gist
tell
of it.
from your voice that that you're more excited about just randomly talking than you are about any structured kind of discussion, which I think is fair because things can happen, unexpected things. I think it can be very exciting.
Yeah, I mean, the
GUA
previous
coming in at
auction was
62.
very exciting, and we didn't have a whole panel of voice
Oh
commentators.
yeah, we watched that from the.
We watched that live,
office, didn't we?
Yeah,
we were sitting there like whilst what was it?
I think the H1 tournament actually.
Yeah, it was the launch stream. No, it was the.
No, it was the.
Oh, it's the ECL. Yeah, you were just sitting there in the office whilst I was like frantically trying to manage this tournament.
Well, it was a good distraction.
God, I wish I could have watched that live. It was so exciting. That was the one time I really didn't want to be working at Escape to watch this previous EPL stream.
Well, this time you're live there, so should be exciting.
Yeah, so I did say to everybody before we started that perhaps the first 5 minutes or so should be a bit more structured before we degenerate into just random chaos and talking, which I'm sure will be very, very fun. But yeah, as Comet said, for some reason I've taken the lead role. I suppose that just happens when I'm on the stream.
It's okay, and so we'll just rally behind you.
Yeah, that players, there are, I think, actually 51. Let me scroll down. No, way more than that. 68 players. 68. Actually, perhaps more, because the bot seems to have returned a few names without numbers in the list.
68, it looks like.
quite a number of players that can be purchased. Now, what are we watching in case you've just tuned in and have really no idea what's going on or have not read the news post or anything like that? What we have is our next ESOC tournament. Now, this one's different. This is a team tournament, but it's not a team game tournament. Although perhaps someone will correct me. Maybe there are some team games. I think mostly this is a 1v1 event.
Just 1v1.
No, but it's just
1v1.
1 versus 1. Yeah. no
Okay,
team
I think
game.
that's more exciting. Personally, just because I'm much better, I think, at casting 1v1 games. Team games are a bit more hectic, and I've played much fewer of them. But that's my personal preference. Perhaps we will have team games in the future. But this is a team tournament with only 1v1s. How does that work? Well, there are, I believe, a number of teams. 6 teams?
6.
Six teams. We have
Six
the
teams,
Mandarin
yes.
Duck Squad. They are led by, of course, Duck. Who is his? We'll call him.
And his top player is Mido.
Yeah. What are we calling the top players? Are they like premier players? Are they like patrons?
Champions.
The champions. The
Okay.
champions.
Not man at arms, not long swordsmen, but champions. Okay. So Mandarin Duck Squad is headed by Duck as the team captain. He will not be playing, but his champion player, so to speak, is Maito. And every team has obviously a captain that's directing who plays what games, and they have a champion player as well. The Nilla Ninjas is headed by
I am Turk.
I am Turk with
Azam,
Azamk as his champion.
I'm Turk is the champion.
Okay. And we have Azamk in the chat. Say hi, Az.
Hi.
Hi,
We have
Az,
I'm
of
Turk.
course.
We have I'm Turkey as well, though.
And I am Tech. Okay,
Yeah, hello.
you guys have not left yet to talk strategy. You sound like you're confident. Or you've got anything you can share with us,
We
or is
never
everything
had a
tightly under
strategy
wraps?
last time in the first place. So
Sorry, repeat that.
we never had a strategy in the last time. Like it's kind of like all my usual games that we don't have any strategy, but we kind of end up winning. So
I was about to say that. It does seem like a traditional A's theme. Okay, so next up is the Hudson Bay Bigs. I think one of the 2 teams that have, I think, had professional artwork made. I know certainly the SKG had artwork made. Well, actually, all of the artwork's professional. What I'm saying, but had like extra artwork made for their team. Is that right? Nobody knows.
Yeah. So ESOC paid someone to make the artwork for each team.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I know the SKG logo was made
Maybe
a very long time ago and
Yeah.
was
I think SKG is original, as you said, but
Do
all
we
the
have
other
the
ones are
new
made by-
the new teams and
Prince,
emotes?
if you can hear me, just type
if
in the
on
chat
Twitch,
right now
they're
that
Twitch
you're ready.
emotes as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, is
And
the
we have
auction
one-
starting?
Yes, it's
Yeah,
just
starting,
about
it's
starting.
Oh my goodness, I've not even finished my introduction.
I think they're
Okay.
waiting on Prince.
The remaining teams are the Hudson Bay Bigs, the New World Challengers, the SKG, and Curious Seer Management Company. And it appears the auction will be beginning in just a moment. There is a list of, as I said, 68 players. And now that we're introduced and we know what's going on, I suppose we ought to go through how the auction system works. So,
I think Comet explained some of it just before we entered the stream.
It
Okay.
doesn't hurt to go over it again, just while we're waiting
Well,
to confirm all the managers.
okay, so
Okay,
there
they're
are...
still setting up then.
So as I said, 6 teams, and each team will be asked to nominate a player that they would like to start bidding on. And this will go around in, I think, no particular order, but everybody will be asked in turns. You nominate a player, and then everybody gets to bid on them. The minimum that you can purchase a player for is 500. So a player has to be sold for 500 coins. Otherwise, if we don't reach that margin, then I don't believe they're sold.
No,
Yep.
it starts at 500.
It
So when
starts at
you-
500.
It
It's
starts
when you
at
nominate
500.
someone, your bidding is 500, and it also
Okay.
makes it so your max you can pay for a player is 8,000.
Yeah, as Riot says, the reason for this is because you need to have 5 players on your team. That is a rule. So you can't just purchase, well, you can't purchase fewer players than that. And that does create a sort of soft cap, so to speak, of 8,000. If you purchase a player for 8,000, you would then have to purchase your 4 remaining players for 500 each. Whether that's a viable strategy or not remains to be seen. But right, you were saying earlier you've put some thought into how this should play out. You had some strategy in mind.
So me and Kastet did a mock auction a while ago, And we ended up, I think, getting probably the best team out of all of them. And what we ended up doing is keeping on cash, nominating players, and forcing other players to spend a lot of money on the players. So they ended up having no money. You end up getting the higher ranked players. But with how the auction sort of thinned out, a couple of players have dropped out. So Raphael's dropped out. TLS has dropped out. So you do see sort of a thinning of the top stack. So maybe that's not the best way to go forward now. But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. So I think any second now we're expecting to see an auction begin. What are we waiting for? I don't know.
I think we're waiting on Prince to figure out how this works.
Yeah, they're still setting up things up in the channel. It looks like everyone is confirming that they're here and that they're ready. Of course, it's 12 people that need to be ready, the 6 leaders and the champions. So
there's a lot of cooperation.
It's like if you organize a 6 versus 6 with 12 casters.
12 casters.
That's how many.
Well, that's more or less what we've got in this channel. So,
well, yeah, we need a lot of people here, and
it's like a 2v2v2v2v2v2.
Right. So it looks like
I have a question.
NWC is ready. Big guys are ready.
So there won't be any treasure contentions, but there will be player contentions, and I imagine
that is so much more exciting though. Like, and 2 people are going in for Luckerstedt, and who's got it? Oh, it's the Nilla Ninjas.
You've not seen a 30 coin. You've not seen a 30 coin treasure contention with me casting before.
Never do a treasure contention against Turk. He will always win.
No, the managers do not play. I see some comments in the chat. The managers don't play. The champions do, of course. So the managers are purely there to coordinate everything. And the champions are basically one free top 8 or top 16 player. Then every team has to give some baseline in quality.
So other 5 players you have to recruit. Does that include your champion? So it's 6 players total?
You have to get 6 players total.
Yeah, you need 6 players total. So
and 5 players. 5 players play per week, if I recall, from last time.
Is there a 2-minute delay on the stream?
No, there's no delay.
There is no delay. Perfect. Now we can read chat. That's absolutely ideal. Yeah, so it looks like we're still waiting for the players. So I think we can actually finish off going through who were on the teams and stuff. So just to recap for anyone tuning in, 5 teams. The Nilla Ninjas with I Am Turk at the helm. He's the captain. Azamk as his champion. Somali Kabuli Gaming with I'm not sure who's the player there or who's the captain.
It's
captain, by the way.
The player is Hazard, and the captain is Prince.
Okay. Curacy Management Company. I imagine Daniel is the name Daniel, the manager, and Kaiser Klein, the champion.
Yep. And there's also
Mandarin Duck Squad with Duck at the helm and Maito as his player.
Just to cut you off a little bit, we are actually about to begin the auction, so it's going to be popping off in the auction channel of the Discord. It's just about to begin.
I need to go there in Discord?
Yeah, it's starting.
It's in the text channel, so you can view it there. And up to bat first is Duck with the nomination, the first nomination of the
yes,
of the
owner of the Duck coins.
Oh, baby.
Oh, what is he going to put down?
GUA has got a bit of
Soldier. Okay. So for those wondering, Soldier is ranked 6th on the JP ELO that we've been given out of 68 signups.
So
and this is not give you anxiety, but this is his brother Soldier, so also a very good player, of course, in the top 8 of the current list we have here.
Yeah,
and
Wicked wisdom.
Wicked
Soldier starting at 1,000.
Betting for 1,000 duck coins, doubling the current value.
Oh wow, he's going for a lot.
Yeah.
So what's interesting here is you have 2 NA teams. So you have Hudson Bay Bigs, which is Noel, obviously, and you have Duck, who last time I think only went for NA players. So Soldier is sort of a premier NA player, isn't he? Here. So really, it's interesting to see which one of these 2 should try and get him. But by the looks of it, everyone's trying to get him because it's the first.
Yeah.
2,200 already. Go up for like 4,000 or something.
Ooh, this is getting pretty hefty so far.
Yeah, I'm not surprised because Soldier's been around for a long time. He's really experienced. He's very good with lots of different civilizations. He's like going to be a really flexible member of the team.
Yeah, I would definitely bet
5
put a lot
seconds.
of money on Soldier. Oh, Prince.
Oh!
Prince.
2,500. It's getting a lot of traction, actually.
That's already much more than the practice auction.
Yeah.
Right, Wicked really wants this
Maybe
guy.
these guys haven't realised that Soldier lost 2-0 versus Snow in the Empire Cup, so I don't know about the 2,800 or 3,000 coins.
Wicked really wants this. Do you think that any of the teams have been pushing up the price of Soldier just to make Wicked pay through the nose for it?
I think Princess, look at him, he's just going for his little incremental bids, just trying to eke out, because obviously Prince and Hazard got a tight-knit community with their friends. They're just trying to get every little bit of duck value out of this player. 2,800 for Wicked Cossacks to current bets, more than a quarter. But you've got to argue, Soldier is one of the top placed players. If you have money to spare, you might as well put it where your mouth.
He keeps like upping it by 50.
2,900. Wicked Cossack is immediately responding after every bet.
I actually agree with
you have to commit to it. So can I just put this in perspective? Wicked Cossack is an accountant by trade, and this man is, he's good with numbers. I'm sure he's thought everything through, and he really wants Soldier. He must value him very highly.
Bidding is close. Overpriced, Daniel.
No, overpriced, Daniel.
That was a good pickup.
And it's
that seems like a lot, really. 3K already.
You have to consider the player pool is pretty thin, so Soldier's actually kind of the up. He's like a tier 2 player as far as the pros go, but in this auction he's quite valuable because there's not a lot of competition.
India Bot has been nominated by ASAMP. It looks like ASAMP and I'm Turk are still in this channel, by the way. They're not even talking over voice with each other, which is interesting to me.
He said it himself, he's not
free reign to do what he wants.
So, for perspective, everybody, India Bot is ranked 10 on the list. I think that's fairly accurate. So, as far as players go, certainly valuable.
1,700.
Wow,
he really wants him.
So the thing about Migo here is he hasn't played.
Yeah, he's been quite inactive recently.
Yeah,
okay, you know what Prince is doing? Prince is like making everybody pay more for their players. Like,
but then you run the risk of being left with India Bot team, and you need to remember that India Bot lost to Robot in the last tournament. So we're always saying that India Bot's up there, but 2,000 to lose versus Robot Spanish.
Yeah. I mean, Robot is also up for grabs in this auction, so he might get picked up, and maybe they'll play again. But
do we have any? Are there any maps confirmed for this tournament? Because India Bot, as we know, well, it's in the name, right? It's very good with India, which I think is going to be quite versatile, quite useful on a number of maps. Certainly on the non-trading post maps. So maybe you just pick him up because he's a good player. He might not sell for as much as the very top players, but he's going to be useful because of his Civ specialization.
I've just posted the map pool in the channel for you.
Sold.
Yep, sold for 2,100.
It's a SKG.
That's
wow.
Price
so we was
it's a good price.
Prince is pushing up the price between each player, trying to get other teams to overpay. But it's actually Prince who picked up India Bot for 2,100 coins, and that seems a lot.
Of course, it's Somali Kabuli Gaming. They love the India players, and he fits well in there.
What's interesting?
Somebody called forward Sompu Konku. He's needed.
Yeah.
What's interesting is to put in perspective of how much Migo cost there. Migo is cheaper than Soldier, yet Soldier actually beat Migo. Migo beat Soldier in the last EPL. So that's what's interesting here. But King of Osman is like second.
Osman's probably, I think, maybe the most.
He's probably one of the best player to get, I think, in this auction.
Yeah, I think so too.
I would value King of Osman about 3,400, 3,600. I think. Out of the list I've got here, I really enjoyed King of Osman's play last tournament. He's really put into practice, and some of his defensive Japan play was top quality. So everybody, you can see the stream is overloaded with people chucking in pets.
Off the back of his victory in the previous tournament, perhaps he is quite valuable. This is a very good point to make, and he is at the top of this list that we've been given.
3,000 already.
He's worth 4K at least, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think they'll go up to 4,000 on this one.
It's going up very quickly. He's already at 3,700.
Wicked Cossack is unforbidding himself.
Oh wow! Oh my god, that's awkward.
He's an accountant.
Oh, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. That's
Wicked is smashing his keyboard right now.
You need really high APM to do this bidding. Really.
He's like, I can't find the buy button.
I've just got it.
3,800.
Daniel's bet high so that Kaiser doesn't have to play King of Osman's Japan style. That's what he's trying to do here. Try and buy the player away from his own champion.
4,000. There's the 4,000.
4,000. Wow.
4,050.
I think
Now
this is,
we're really
this has
getting
gone
up
into
there.
the point where it's too expensive.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like the player pool is so
Yeah.
thin. I
Think
feel
of
like you're
the
supposed to spend all your money.
Yeah, but
team
you
that
still have
Wicked has
Kastet,
already
you still have
assembled.
Sompu, you still have Jeramuno, you have a number of players you can still bid on. But
It's true, but
4,100
King is
quite a lot.
King is like awesome. I would probably put a lot of money down on King. We'll see.
Yeah, the rules are kind of made for Osmans. He can play Japan several times. The map pool is quite good for his saves as well.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
That's a really good point, actually.
Yeah.
If he can play Japan on like every map, then his value goes up even further. That's an excellent point to make.
You need to remember
Looks like
last year,
Daniel and Wicked.
Lord Raphael went for a cheaper price than currently King's right now. So Lord Raphael last year's most valued player, most expensive player, shall I say, and King is still pulling the bids up to 420 now from Duck, 4,200 coins. Currently going for the Mandarin Duck squad, and I wonder if somebody else is going to outbid Duck here because that is more than 40%.
I think Wicked does
of
it.
your budget.
I think Wicked puts another 25 down.
Nope. That,
No,
it looks
don't
like,
think so. It looks like Duck got it.
There you go.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's got it.
4K too.
Bidding has
That's a
closed.
lot.
The Mandarin Duck squad has got King of Ostman for $4,200.
That's a lot of money.
I was
How much-
gonna say dollars, but
Comet
That's
K, can you
fine.
tell us how much money Duck Squad has left remaining?
There, it's
be
5,800.
5,800.
If you look at the
5,800.
stream overlay thing, it tells you how much everyone has left.
Oh, I didn't realize. Nice.
Yeah, me neither.
Ah, Onage. That's really interesting pick.
Oh. A solid
King
player, I
Owners,
guess.
how
right?
is he ranked in the overall ranking?
He's 14th. Yeah,
14.
14th.
Okay.
Yeah, but still a good opportunity to pick up a strong player that isn't necessarily a top player, but you do need 5 people on your team, and you can't blow all of your money on just really good players. You do need some people to fill out your team with. So could still go for a respectable amount, and that's what I really like about this format.
Yeah.
So the
2,600.
big
He is a colonel. I
That
would totally.
is
pick that.
pretty
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Onage is definitely legit colonel level.
He's
so
legit,
let,
but 26.
Nilla Ninjas, Hudson Bay, and Curaçao still have 10k.
Yeah, so unbidded yet. They're going with the Riot Coke strategy where you wait towards the end and hoover up all of the
Yeah.
players that are good, that are remaining, that haven't been, once everybody's spent their bank down.
He's
So new world
drafted
challengers. Yeah.
2,600.
Ooh, Nuschelbear. Wait, Nush is in this? Oh yeah, he is number 8.
It was just hiding there, but certainly one of the stronger players. And
Yeah,
even if we
absolutely.
went back down to the pro division in the winter, we see that Nuschelbear had some pretty decent tournament runs. Where is Nuschelbear? Nuschelbear did beat Perez, but did drop down to Kaiser. And once he lost to Kaiser, had a sort of a run in the advanced division.
Yeah,
I can't find him in our list.
He's number 8.
He's like second or third or something like that. He's up there.
Yeah,
But,
he's certainly good.
He's
Yeah,
probably
Nush
top
probably
5,
worth
yeah.
around 4K points.
5k.
Yeah, I love how we've jumped, like in the very first bids with the
Oh, wow.
soldier, it was quite slow and steady, but this is escalated very quickly.
5k.
Yeah, it's getting a lot of
3,400.
traction, which is-
No,
it's-
3,600 by Prince. That's a lot of money.
The speed at which players are bidding is probably good for like Wicked Cossack, who's trying to drive the price up for other people.
That's true.
Overbid,
yeah.
basically. Like if it gets a lot of traction, you're inclined to bet more than you perhaps wanted to.
Oh, the 4K bomb.
There's no
Yeah.
way they're gonna contest that.
I think
There is.
I think it legitimately could go up to 45k on Kanoosh.
Yeah, probably.
4.5k.
Yeah, not 45k.
That would take a few teams combined to get that.
Yeah, exactly.
They're both typing. Null raises it.
5
slightly.
seconds.
Looks like he wants
Coming
it.
in at the last moment.
5 seconds left, and Daniel
I think.
getting in that bid.
Yep. Good to go.
4,175. 4,200.
Oh,
I've never gotten to do this before, and it's very
He's going,
exciting.
going.
It's not going as quickly as
4,250. Named any.
As those TV shows, though.
4,300.
Noel?
I don't
Can
think
we get a
Noel's gonna line up on
4,325?
that.
Prince should get this.
We need a guy from Storage Wars to be here.
10 seconds
shout
remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Oh,
4,235.
What a weird.
oh, and then he ups himself.
I think that's probably an
Oh.
insurance bet. Like, just doesn't want to lose it to somebody else.
Who
last
won
second.
that?
There's the first misclick of the auction.
Oh, he misclicked with his keyboard, and so his bet didn't count, so he didn't get him.
Oh yeah,
No,
because
it didn't count.
Yeah, it didn't count because he bet too low. You
Oh,
need
no.
to bet in increments of at least 25 duck coins, otherwise.
Noosh went for 100 more than King.
Looks like he needs some better micromanagement of his keyboard.
Maybe Neutral Bar is easier to work with. Maybe that's why he sold them.
He's looking at his prices, and that Curious Management Company, Hudson Bay, Biggs, and Nil Ninjas yet to pick somebody up. Let's say if Lucas was the next person to be into the pot, we could even see Lucas being raised up to about 4,500, 5,000 for these teams, and no players to secure another top player, because we're starting to run thin on the top tier players. So wanting to see who the next player is to be selected. Izad.
Yeah, so Lamy or Izad, quite a strong player. He plays with HPC and that lot, doesn't he? With
That
Paul and
automatically
whatever.
raises his value for sure.
50 times over. I mean,
What?
if we don't see Izad going for like 3,000,
2,000.
Oh,
Wow.
Okay, already.
Cossack upping himself there.
Yeah, it looks like he does that from time to time. Upping himself with like 200 or 300, maybe to drive other people to bet even more.
Yeah,
What?
I'm
2,100
not
out of
sure. Ooh,
Yeah,
this
maybe
is
he's
really
like-
high on
50 is
Izad.
cheap.
Maybe Cossacks looked into like auction psychology.
Psychology, yeah.
Yeah, almost certainly this is too cheap for Izad.
I don't
There should
think
be
it's
more
too cheap. I
funds
think
in
it's a little bit of an overpay for Wicked.
No, because Izad is almost certainly top 10 there. And if you look at the
Oh,
rest of the
top
players,
10.
2,000,
Easy.
he is top 10. I mean, he's better than
I
Optimus.
don't think
He's better than Big Winner, almost certainly.
Okay, it's close.
Yep. Looks like New World Challengers have Soldier King, Onage, and Izad already on their team. Whereas
That's some
3 of the other teams have
solid
no one.
picks.
I mean, they have
Yeah,
a
some
solid
teams have yet
core,
to spend a
but
penny.
they don't really have a lot of star power at the moment. They don't have like a top end hitter. I mean, their highest ranked player is Soldier, and Soldier's good and all, but I don't think he's in that upper echelon, and that's who's
Yeah,
going to
but
be up
they
to
have
bat for their
Diaruga.
tier 2 slot.
Diaruga's the champ, right? So you don't need a solitaire if you have Diaruga.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Diaruga's
you don't-
going up against other A1 players, Kaiser Klein. He has to match those players, but Soldier up against who? Kanoosh? Is that really going to be that close? Against King of
No,
Ozma?
I think Soldier can fight with anyone, even top tier. I don't think he's favored, but I think he has
He's
possibilities.
a little bit
I think
Perez
consistent.
up for sale.
He's not hugely consistent. He also lags to shit. So maybe players don't want to play most of them. But,
Perez,
yeah.
Perez nominated
one.
by Duck, but no one wanting to up the bid. Sold to Duck for 500. A nice, easy pickup.
No, it hasn't
Perez
sold
is
it. There's no
that
way-
would be-
there's no way
That's a
Perez
steal
is
for
sold
500.
Perez
Yeah,
is
that's
not
definitely a
worth
steal.
800.
800 for
Oh,
days.
now
It
they
wasn't
start
sold.
betting. It wasn't sold, yeah.
I thought the timer expired, but no. Okay, so not a steal is going to.
800, that's definitely a steal.
800?
I
That's
mean,
still...
Paris is at least
Yeah,
Oh,
800
as good
is
as
very,
Izad.
very good value.
He's a
Somebody
girl.
needs to like.
The only thing I question is, can
You
Perez-
can't let other teams like get their
Okay.
players to cheat.
Sure.
1,000
getting there,
coming in
1,000.
from Prince.
Trevor, can Perez play? Because he said he didn't have a
1100.
computer.
He's sorting on
1,500.
his situation, but he should be all right.
1,500.
Okay, so this is the sort of numbers we were expecting.
It certainly looked like Prince wants him.
Yeah, I think he gets picked up here by Prince.
I don't
Yeah.
think, not for 15.
15 is cheap for Perez, really cheap for Perez.
Perez is ranked number 7 in JP Elo on the list that we've gotten here, so in theory quite valuable.
Yeah,
You need
he's
to remember to
he's
the
a good
Winter
pickup.
Championship where Perez humiliated Optimus Prime 3-1 and then lost to Neutral Bear 4-3. But Neutral Bear went for a high price here, so we might see Perez into the high 2,800, 900, 3,000 area, I reckon.
3,000 is too expensive, but
Yeah, that's
maybe
pretty pricey,
2,500. 2,500 is a good shot there.
I
And
like that
some of
Duck
these
is
teams
making.
need players. Like
Yeah,
CMC and Hudson Bay and Nil Ninjas all need players. And at the same time, Duck is what Mandarin Duck squad. He's already got two. Oh, and he's already got King Osmond there. And if he
Under-
picks up Perez, that's the second player there in my mind.
This is
that's a
going
good
to
second
be
pick. I think
a
he's
Under
steal.
under 2,000.
Yeah,
is a
that's a
very
good
good
pickup
pick.
from Duck.
Very
That
good
was
pick.
Alter
probably
Duck
the
for
best price
1,625.
of the auction so far.
Can Perez play there? Because he has some issue with his PC since of the lockdown.
I suppose we'll resolve that. That's not a question for now.
All right.
Ooh, Frontier.
It's currently 2 teams, I think 3 teams, not to spend a penny.
Yeah. Still the same 3 ones, right?
Wicked Cossack
Yep.
is saying he's dropping an F-bomb for some reason.
Oh yeah, he doesn't look happy.
Duck says he'll send a computer to Spain for Perez.
Yeah, he's probably listening to the stream. Hi, Doug.
Flanchier going for 1,525.
I would pick up. That's a good price for Frontier.
That's a little bit of an overpay, in my opinion. When you're comparing him to Perez,
Yeah, no, for sure.
this is, I mean, it's a player he very much wants clearly, but this is, compare that to Perez, that's absolutely an overpay.
Well, Perez was stolen.
Absolutely, absolutely. My lord, that was...
That was such a cheap price.
I'm surprised to see none of the teams with lots of money remaining betting on Perez, or perhaps they're waiting for the end.
Yeah, they're going for the big guys, I think.
Going for Lucas, Castet, and Sompu really, and Germuno even.
Germuno, yeah.
Sompu's actually had quite a good run recently. So
Yeah, Sampu with that top 4 last weekend, I think he's really valuable at this point.
If Sompu goes up and there's still like 3 teams with 10k duck coins, he may go as high as 4,500, 5k.
Oh, A's no bid up. There we go.
Oh, that was so close.
Well, can we get 2,000?
2,000
NWC cannot bid
Too
any
much.
higher.
Oh, was that all their coins?
Yeah, he's been max bidded, so Wicked is out. At least for this bid, that is.
Yeah, he could pick up somebody smaller, but I think that it's theirs. Frontier goes to Nilla Ninjas.
Okay, so does anyone have any insight? What does Wicked Cossack have to do now that his team has so few money? Does he just have to keep betting in the hope that he can get the last player on his team?
Yeah, basically. Well,
he needs 2 players, right?
you need
needs to pick up a
have
scrub.
500 left, so you can always get a player, but
Right.
Realistically, if you look at the list, well, basically everyone in the top 30 is probably going to get picked, minus a couple of them. You might get someone picking up Eliza instead, who's for some reason 36th there. But
Eliza.
yeah, I'm saying it on purpose. I realize I'm saying it wrong, but I'm saying it on purpose. But some of these players you can pick up for 500, so Wicked's fine in that regard. But he needs to try and sort of tactically pick a player, which he may be able to get for like 1,000, 1,300, and then pick up some scrub like an HPC or something for 500.
So I've got a question for you. What if Wicked can't get a player and all the other teams keep outbidding him by like 25 coins so that he can't afford the final player and he ends up having to pick someone much further down the list?
Well, the thing about the 5th player is the 5th player is a substitute, right? You only have to play 5 players in each week, and each player can play again and again and again, whatever.
1,700 coming in.
2,500.
25.
Who's this? Optimus Prime. That's a
Wow, that is a jump. Daniel really wants this player.
The sound of disgust from Riot's voice there. Ugh.
Optimus isn't. Yeah.
Ace is going to pick him up, I think.
Yeah, but Ace
5 seconds.
Ace misclicked there.
200?
Nope, 2,000.
Oh,
But
they didn't see Daniel on speed.
that was a misclick.
Do you reckon though it wasn't misclick, but people just trying to bait each other into paying more? Like,
Wow, they just sold it.
I'm gonna tactically.
No one saw the bid of 2,500, and they all were betting lower
Very
numbers.
good pick.
Thank you very much. I take it, he says.
Cheers, lads. Yeah. What a steal.
Hudson Bay Biggs at this point have
I'm not
no
sure I would call that a
team.
steal. I mean, he definitely got it from under the nose of the other managers, but 2,500 for Optimus is quite high in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, considering Soldier at 2,900, yeah. I agree
It's still stolen indeed, but because
Maybe we'll
nobody
start
was
to see
noticing.
some-
That was their fault for not reading the chat.
Yeah, there were like 3
Keister.
or 4 bits after the final
Keister.
one that were.
Keister is... Where is
Keister's-
Keister?
Keister's sort of
Definitely
GUA's
underrated,
level,
I
right?
think.
He's
Yeah, he's
top
like
20 in the
captain.
list. I think he's a good player. I think he's...
He is
Keister
literally
is
number
like
20 in the
Lieutenant
list.
Colonel, at least.
Very good at Sue as a player. So
Yeah, he's got really
Sue's
good
had some
Sue,
changes
good
recently.
Iroquois.
Good
I remember
he's
beating
very good
Optimus
at-
Prime once. Only
I've been
once.
that's sort of testament to how maybe he isn't worth as much as was put.
It was on
But,
Carolina, to be fair, on RE Patch, so I don't think it was so super serious. But yeah, 1,200 for Keister. 10 seconds remaining. Noel up bids 325. 1,350. 1,400.
1,400 A's.
You got to remember the
Just,
last
yeah.
tournament Keister was in, lost 3-1 to Frontier in the quarterfinals of the intermediates, and Frontier went for about 1,900 coins. So if Keister goes for more than 2,000, that will be an overpay, surely.
But it looks like Prince is going to pick him up at
25.
1,425. I think that's a good price for him, especially a Colonel. I think that's worth it.
Azam, does he want to? No.
Nope, too late.
Azam was typing. I think he was trying to
Yeah.
spook someone into bidding.
Yeah.
I think that's a good pick for the price.
Yeah, I think so too.
I wonder if that's a valid strat. Like when the 5-second mark comes up, just start mashing your keyboard so that the ... is typing comes up and you scare someone.
Yeah.
Lucas, big number
Yeah.
3 in the
4K.
list coming out here. We're expecting a big sale here.
5K at least.
Big Lucas.
I think it's going to come down between Nilla and just Cure Management Company, because they have the money to like
Yeah.
buy this guy. Everybody else is underneath the 4,000.
Everyone's used their money, right? Like just to make this clear to chat, this is coming from Noel, Hudson Bay Biggs, who have not spent a penny yet. So they have all their money to
3,000.
sploosh on this purchase. 3,100 already.
I know what Daniel's going to do here. Daniel's going to go for sort of 5,000, I think, because I know him as a player. I know he likes Lucas as a player. Kaiser and Lucas.
4K.
Wow.
Well, yes, this is going to go for
4K.
5,000 quite easily. I think Lucas is probably the strongest of the players, obviously left, and more than likely the strongest of the players up for grabs, maybe in line with Nushabar. So it would not be surprising if it was 5K or even higher than 5K, because two teams need players now. They need a better player. Hudson Bay Biggs and Cursor Management Company and Nilla Ninjas actually all
Yeah,
need higher
these
tier
teams
players.
need like a tier 1 player for sure.
Yeah, and Lucas is the last
come
star
down.
player in the draft, pretty much.
You got some.
Castet-
That's not bad
Castet-
too.
Stompo is still up there.
Noah's still not taken. But yeah, I think Noah's
Yeah.
going to pick him up for 45, 50.
Azam
No, it's
has
going
the
to
money
go
to
higher
keep
than this.
going.
Surely,
I think Daniel's going to go.
Yeah,
higher.
Ace-
Ace still has 8,000 coins, so he's not like he's spent that much. He's been bidding on almost everything, driving the price
Wow.
up, but he's not actually spent very many coins at all.
It's going to come down between Hudson Bay and Nilla Ninjas.
Yeah.
They're
I
the
think-
only teams with money left.
Yeah, well, and Hudson Bay Biggs have not spent a penny yet, and that's clear that they know what they want, and I think they're ready and prepared to commit to this bid.
Yep. He says bish.
They're going up in increments of 100 now. 47.25.
Wow.
I think we're going to see a 5,100 bet from Noel just to try and take out A's reach, because, you know, as you say, the Bigs have got no players at the moment, and they need to have somebody who can actually take on games from the other top players in the bracket so far, like Noosh, Soldier, King of Osmane, Optimus. So
Closed.
we need this top player.
Oh,
So
It's
closed.
close.
Done.
Sold.
So to know who's
Four
Turns
Right.
out those last 25 coins were too much for Team Azam Nilla Ninjas.
So realistically, what either player now there's Cursor Management Company, Nilla Ninjas, and there's Sompu Konku,
Stanley.
and there's Castet. Stanley doesn't really matter, but
Wow.
Stanley's a good player, Lieutenant Colonel. But the point I'm making is the fact that these these two teams, Netherlands and QSA Management Company, who are big stacks of money now. They need to either get Sompu or Cassette. So they're going to have to probably spend a lot of money because they're bidding against each other. But what you could do is you nominate Sompu, who I don't want to be mean to Sompu, but it's probably worse than Cassette nowadays with how it is. You nominate
That's
Sompu
really
and try and
subjective.
force.
I wouldn't say so.
Well,
Let him finish his point.
But
Yeah, sure.
either or, it doesn't matter. Bid for you even. And try and get the other team to buy the player that you don't want. And then you have free reign to get that player cheaper, which is really the strategy you want to go for here. But
And it seems like that's what Azamp's been doing a lot. He's been bidding on almost everyone, regardless of whether he actually ends up purchasing them or not. Except 1,500. Currently bidding on Stanley Winston.
We still have like Jerry Muno, Only Bows, GUA, For Justice. So we
Don't
still
you
have.
guys actually know who gave Stanley Winston his beginner's lesson for winning beginner's division?
I think
No
he
idea.
gave that away to Clestry, I'm not sure. But
What a champ. What a nice guy.
Stanley Winston, I think, goes to
New World
we can
Challenge.
pass
Closed, sold to New World Champions.
Of course, now New World Champions have 825 left in the bank and only 4 players, so they're going to pick up somebody really cheap at the end of this. They're out of coins for another one of
They
these
can still
top
bid
players.
just to drive the price up, of course.
Yeah, but only up to like 825.
Yeah.
You're not going to bid anyone relevant with that amount of money, I think.
But still, so far, though, they've got a decent other 4 players in their roster. So I think at the end of this, the new World Challengers will be quite happy with how it's gone so far.
Yeah, Wicked did a solid job picking up a pretty good team.
For Justice. That's interesting.
For Justice is interesting.
Robo Borrow coming in with the subscription. Who is going to pick up this beast? Let's see if Robo gets nominated. He is in the list of players you can pick, but somehow I don't think he'll be selected.
I don't think Duck has done too well, actually. Because if you look at his players, you do have King of Onager, you do have Soldier. But as we noted, Soldier's sort of a second-tier player in this regard. So you have Luke. It would have been better for him to maybe get 2 lesser players at the 4th and 5th end. Maybe not Stanley Winston, maybe like someone slightly worse. And then gone for...
Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Is it Wicked? Yeah, sorry, Wicked. Sorry, I thought it was Duck's team. My mistake. But he doesn't really have that big firepower, which you sort of need, does it?
Wow,
Lucas
that's a big bid from Ace.
Lucia Bar's in there, and King of Osmond's in there. And then at the same time, does Soldiers really square up to any of those players? I don't think he does.
Yeah,
He's just coming in with a really high bid. Not necessary, but certainly pushes the price up. Maybe he could have got that on the cheap, but this is just A's all over, really trying to drive prices up. Maybe he was willing to pay that anyway. And it looks like it does go to Nil and Ninjas.
I mean, For Justice did really well in the previous CPL, if I'm not wrong. So I think he's a good pick.
He did really well.
He also pushed Lacazette. Lacazette. He also took you to 3-2 in the round 1 of the advance. So certainly was competing with you. Quite strong player.
I am Turk. Coming up for bid.
I'm Turk coming up.
Prince is
perhaps not. I see.
They're feeling excited. There we go. Woo! The big boy, 5K.
This auction, if not anything else, is brutal in placing the value of you as a player in numbers. It's absolutely
6K. There we go. Yeah, so he's basically the best British player around, right? So,
all right, 525.
Everyone's starting with the smallest incremental bets.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't have less than 5 hunts in his base, he's the best British player.
Yeah, they should have just let him go for 500 just to troll.
To be fair to GOA, though, he is much better with British than he is any other Civ. So there is some value in that if you know that you can field British in a particular map or something like that. And he's going for a respectable amount here, up to 825.
Well, I think GOA is a good pickup to take 100%. Like if I were drafting, I would try to get him a team.
I'm just wondering if his meme status will like overrate him or underrate him.
I think it will underrate him.
Underrate him 100%.
I mean, if it was
1,100,
would have been. If you asked Tim, he'd probably be worth 10k, but we're not doing that. But
But like, the thing is,
1,100 is
anxiety is
fine,
British and giving anxiety is Russian is like chalk and cheese. It's a one-trick pony, as far as we're concerned.
But really, 1,125.
That's absolutely a steal for GUA.
That is cheap.
Yeah, so Ace is going to raise that. There we go. 1175 from A's.
And saying he's only good at
fight over
British.
this guy a little bit.
Saying he's only good at British is a bit disingenuous nowadays because I know he's improved quite a lot in Germany, and really
he's picking up France a lot too.
Yeah, so in this tournament you only sort of need 3 civilizations to play, so GUA is not actually a bad pick here because it's sort of lieutenant colonel level.
Oh, they got him.
How much did he sell for? 1175 is cheap for GUA.
Yeah, that's a really good pickup. A's must be feeling pretty happy with himself to get a player of that caliber for that price.
Yeah, Nilla Ninja's roster
Even
is
Stanley
really
Winston's
good.
gone for more money than Give Anxiety, and Stanley Winston is not as good as a 1v1 player than GUA, I'd say.
Yeah, totally agree.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, sorry, but
just 1100. Yeah, a 50% raise from last time, says Duck. I guess last time Give Anxiety was like sold for 700 or 800.
Kevin's interesting here, isn't he? Because he's improved a lot recently, like a hell of a lot.
Yeah, that's not a bit. Wicked Cossack just tried to bid 8,750. He doesn't have that many points, so not going to be the case. Okay, it fixed to 825 now at 2,200 from Daniel.
Wow.
Previous bid was 1,000, but going straight to 2,200.
Nobody's gonna bid that.
So from what I know, Daniel talks to TLS and that lot quite a lot. And especially in that sort of that community, I think they sort of rate Kevin Italian quite heavily.
Wow.
And that's why 2,200 went down. That's cheap for Kevin, I think. I think he's playing at sort of probably the level of maybe Soldier at this point.
Confident in the value of
Kevin has improved a lot, but I'm not sure. It's quite a risky bet because Kevin doesn't really have any experience in tournament.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, there's a difference between ladder and tournament, 100%.
Be winner. Be winner, be loser. There we go.
Where's
the
GUA?
B auto bomb.
How valuable is Botto in this tournament?
You need Giving Anxiety and be winner, and then you have every civilization you need
covered.
You have Ottoman, you have British, then you're set.
He is quite strong in this.
1,500.
Yeah.
In the tournament, he's really quite good because he can play Ottoman twice. He can play. I think he's quite good at China as well. So, going for sort of 2K wouldn't surprise me for B winner.
Yeah, I think a 2K is a good bid on B winner, and I think Daniel is gonna try to get him because Daniel's roster so far is just a little bit lacking, and I would add B winner to that.
He does need to be careful though, because he's sort of in dangerous territory for where if he's going to bid for Kastet or he's going to bid for Sompu, he might actually lose out here because Mandarin Dog Squad, if he bids like 2,000, what was it, 1,550 or 1,600 or whatever, he's going to have less money than Mandarin Dog Squad, Netherlands, Hudson Bay Bigs. And all of them can sort of outbid him and force him to spend more and more.
Yeah, the Kaiser and Bowinner pairing is kind of funny here. Because they have had a feud for quite a few months now, eh?
Oh, yeah. Well, every time I go to Kaiser's Twitch chat, he's either banned or a moderator. It's either one or the other.
1K5 is probably underpriced for the winner.
Here we go.
There we go.
Sampu. So
Somali Kabuli Gaming only has 2,000 in bank, so they're not going to be able to...
Somali is not going to get him.
I think Hudson Bay will, though.
Sampu is going to go to the Nilla Ninjas here, I think.
Probably. How many? Yeah, they still have quite a bit of coins.
I think the Hudson and the Nilla Ninjas are going to fight over him.
Yeah, he's not going to go for 3,250, is he? Because that's all Daniel can spend.
Yeah, because you brought up a good point last time, Ryan. You said that Daniel didn't have enough money.
4,000 coming out from Asian!
Wow.
Yeah,
4,000.
4,000 straight from 250.
This is what I'm talking about.
Ace have got him.
Ace Nilla Ninjas, right?
Yeah.
He can't spend that.
Ace is the Nilla Ninjas, of course.
No, that doesn't work. Ace can't spend it because he's only got 3.
Yes.
Oh no, he has. No, I'm an idiot.
He can spend it.
He has 4.
You have enough
buy it, but then now
he has like 800
sold for Azemk for 4,000 coins, just straight up. Straight up from 2,000.
And Jeremy Muno.
I think that's okay, actually.
Yeah, but no semblance to even like have a bid war. He's just like, yeah, I want him. Boop, there's my money. Like it's like you're on eBay and you click the buy it now button rather than like actually bidding.
Darig is saying he's just made a mistake with that bid there of 4,000 for Sompu Konku. So that's slightly unfortunate. However, they do have 4 players in their roster now and only need one more to complete their squad.
Like Kastet. Here we go.
Oh, that's
Yeah, so this is.
Mandarin
What
Duck
do you think
Squad
the
still has
mistake was?
4175.
I'm pretty sure Kastet is
Too
going to
much
go to the
money.
bigs here.
Yeah.
Kastet, who do you actually want to go to? Let's play role.
I don't know if it can go to the big side.
I don't think you can answer that question. It's irrelevant anyway. When you sign up in the rules, that question is not one that it gets taken into consideration.
Honestly, Daniel, I think, can pick him up too. Because
Yeah,
if you look
Daniel
at
has 3.7.
Look, Kastet, how much do you think you will sell for?
Oh, 10k, definitely.
Good
I
answer.
don't
You
want
wormed
to.
out
I don't
that
want to
one.
disappoint.
Nah, I don't
I don't
know.
want to disappoint anyone
I think he's
here.
going to CMC.
But to be honest, Hudson Bay Bigs can't bid more than CMC here, and nor can Mandarin Duck Squad. So CMC gets him. If Daniel bids 3,250, neither of the other two can get him. Otherwise, Noel's team is going to be terrible, unfortunately. And Mandarin Duck Squad is also going to be dreadful because actually Mandarin Duck Squad can't even do that. So CMC should just bid as much as he possibly can here, and he'll win the play.
Yeah, but I guess he wants to conserve his money still, so he's going to try and have a semblance of a bid war.
Kastet is going to sell big here. At least
CMC
could be 35k, 3.5k.
He can't. It can't.
No, I love that.
Because Mandarin Duck Squad can't bid more than what? Take 1,000 off. It can't bid more than 3,175.
No, they can
Hudson
bid
Bay
more
Bigs-
than 3. Oh, sorry, you're right.
No, they
yeah.
can't. They
Yeah,
can't.
you're
Hudson
right.
Bay,
You're right.
and then Hudson Bay can't bid more than what is it?
Kastet will sell for max 32.75.
32.75. So Daniel needs to bid here, and he gets to play, and then he picks some scrub up who doesn't have to play in 5th place.
Some scrub. You're so rude.
I love that you.
Oh,
Because we know all the
yeah.
players personally, so like just
Wait.
just coming out with these comments is great.
No one can bid here. It's
Yeah, no,
impossible.
CMC picks him
No,
up.
Yep.
the
Okay,
bigs can
well,
bid
sold
here,
to Daniel.
I believe.
Daniel getting a Noel
Oh,
can't bid
maybe
here.
you're
He's
right.
going to fuck himself over. He doesn't have enough points
No.
to bid anyone else.
He's
You're
got
right.
5,000, so it is
Yeah, but he
technically
can't-
possible.
No, because he needs
Yeah, he's close.
1,500.
There we go.
Yeah,
3250.
CMC, there I go.
See, and then CMDC just buys like some fucking noob who doesn't ever have to play. Because
Robo-borrow.
I'm not being.
Seriously, management company has a lot of French players.
So I guess Jeremino goes to Bix here, right? Because Bix just still have 5k.
After this nomination, we'll take a break, says Comet K. But Wicked Cossack says why? Okay.
Just
How
2
long will the
minute
break
break
be?
for a
Good question.
bathroom, not like a half an hour break.
I think a break's a pretty good idea, just so the players can kind of the managers can kind of situate the amount of money they have left and what the good picks are.
And we can continue
It's good
like
for pacing.
2-3 weeks.
That's true. I guess like your pre-prepared buy list only gets you so far because anything can happen, and then you need to take stock at some point if you didn't get the players you actually wanted or something like that.
Yeah.
So a break does make sense.
All the managers seeming
Now
to
they're
resist the
spending
break.
their
but-
duck coins on voting whether they want to break or not. So this is correct.
So everybody's saying no break. No one wants to break, but I think Comet K is going to enforce that because by
Yeah,
the
just-
sounds of it, his bladder is full, which is fair. That's a good enough reason.
Should we have a look at the actual players now? Because we can still talk, obviously. And
Yeah, who
select.
is left to buy?
So Jeremuno.
Jeremuno.
Oh, Duck is skipping.
And the only boss is still
So,
left.
for those who don't know, every team can skip their nomination once, so they can wait out and see what other players are going to pick. And it looks like Duck just spent their skip. So that's the only one they have in the whole auction. So after this, they're forced to nominate a player.
I see.
And there's still, if we look at how many players, it's there's what 6-7 players that still need to be picked. Eight players even left to be picked. And there's not a lot of money flowing around here. Only 2,174 for SKG, 825 for Nella Ninjas. They still need another player. Mandarin Duck Squad only has a 4,175, but also needs 3 players. So
That's a lot.
minimum of
They need a lot of players for that
and
money.
Hudson Bay Bigs have got 5,275. They've sort of gone down the road I did with Kastet in the other auction, where they've ended up with a lot of money at the end and they can sort of get whatever players they want. But there's slim pickings at this point. There's Jeremuno, as I said. There's players like Victor Sui or the only Baus, but really, there's not a huge amount they can pick there, and I think they're going to end up getting sort of the loose end here and having to go people like Conqueror.
I think Sheckler's a good choice here, or Colestri, something like that, because if they picked up Stanley Winston, Hatamoto Samurai, Conquer 999, those are good picks, I think, at this end point.
Again, you have to get a player which is sort of a substitute player, like which doesn't really play a huge amount. So you could go for someone like Dennis. Dennis is a strong major.
Right,
there are
still
teams looking for non-substitutes, looking for main players. So
yeah, like the bigs need like 3 other players that are like heavyweights, right? They have their ace, which is Lucas, which is really, really good. But they need more.
Yeah, and at this point in the auction, if you have lots of money left, and you're just looking for a substitute, perhaps you just bid on players that the teams that still need main players are bidding on, just to force the price up and force them to get to spend more money.
That's actually a really good point.
I guess Big's gonna get
So it pays to have gotten a full team before anyone else.
I actually made a mistake earlier. Hudson Bay Bigs could have gone for Cassette there. They actually had just enough, 25 over. But maybe that was a mistake. But again, he would have ended up with 3 players for 500.
Can I make a point?
3 players for 500? Go ahead.
The Hudson Bay Bigs have 1 player on their team. That's it. They've got to make a full roster with 5K. And the trouble is, most teams are approaching that they're sort of finished with their teams. So doing so could be difficult if they do try to bid on players that Hudson Bay Bigs want.
I think there are still a lot of great players in the roster, though, to like round out a core. I mean, there's still Conqueror 999, who is way down that list. There's still Wookle, who's underrated. Minimolt is also Lieutenant Colonel. Hatamoto Samurai, also another good pick. And then there's the only Baus.
Victor Sweden.
Yeah, I suppose.
Don't forget Whimsical.
Zuta's in there. He's like a PR50 Japan player, remember? He's all the way down to 54 somehow. Jack Gaming's in there.
Whimsical.
Alaska 95, Fun Killer Fu 19, all these top players you've heard of before.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see just for the chat that any of those people will be bid on. Just because if you do nominate them, you have to pay 500, and you'd rather do that for someone in the middle of the list.
Skirmisher actually is a really good point here. Skirmisher 1 through 80. Is he on the list?
He's not. But he'd be a good pickup though if he were.
Total Chaos has got a good player. Eliza in 36, he beat Sompu in a best of 5. So there's a number of players there.
Oh dear.
I'm really looking forward for Hatamoto Samurai. That's the player I got my eye on. He's certainly a really good player. Really good, put on a good performance in the Winter Championship. Enjoyed casting his games there. Winston, winning the beginners. But yeah, I think we've already mentioned these: the 24-25, Hatamoto Samurai, and Conqueror 999. Good players still to come.
Again, Hutch has been around for years and years.
Again, do you really want to spend a lot of money on those? Not to be mean, but shit players. Not those players. No. I worded that wrongly. Those players aren't bad, but your 5th player can be dreadful. It doesn't matter. It could be someone who's PR 0. As long as they don't play, it doesn't matter. If you understand what I mean, I don't mean how.
I see what you're saying, but I would like to see a best of 27 between you and Conqueror 999, and then we'll see who really is the shit player.
I didn't mean that. But you don't need to spend any money really on the 5th player. The 5th player is only there.
Yes, point taken. I'm just mocking your choice of words there. No, I understand what you're saying. You only really need players, and the 5th one is just, it doesn't matter. 500 coins is just a technicality. I mean, in theory, if someone gets coronavirus and can't play, you're kind of fucked, but such is the way of things.
We need to remember this channel is a very friendly under 18 channel to talk as well, so come on guys, let's keep your language a little bit in check.
Anyone watching an auction is not a kid.
Hey,
this is the driest content. Actually, it's really interesting, but only to us now. Anyone under the age of 18 is surely playing Fortnite or something. I don't know.
I think you overestimate what people do when they're 18. Oh, well, you're not so far off yourself, but not everyone's playing Fortnite, even if they're only 5 years younger than you.
All right.
Okay.
So this break is about to end.
Auction. I'm feeling Jeremuno.
Looks like we're ready. I'm gonna start it off again.
All right, they've started it again. I think
Team
A's is up
managers
to
have been
nominate.
summoned.
Azam's skipping his nomination.
Oh, yep.
What?
I mean, he only has 825 coins left. So.
Azam's got, and he's got a full roster. He doesn't need to buy anyone. He can just get his 5th player later on, as Riot's saying. It's not that important, and he can use his skip to use his 825 coins to bet on people like Noel, who is bidding now, and force the price up of players that Noel actually needs on his team.
Yeah, looks like Fard is up.
Fard is SKG. That might explain the Prince pick here.
I think he'll get him up to like 500 coin.
Yo,
Fard's a really good player actually.
There you
for
go.
How much?
Bro, it's rewind time.
If Fard went for 500, that might be pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
850 is still a fair price.
Name Daniel still lagging behind. Joke betting 500 for him.
Fard is definitely one of those players with a high skill ceiling. So I mean, he's rusty now, but how rusty he'll be on week 5, that's a big question mark.
Raise price.
Raise price fast. Okay, there he goes.
850.
850.
Somali
For
Kabuli
Somali
Gaming
Kabuli
actually still
Gaming.
has 1,325 coin left.
So the biggest
Yeah, for their
challengers
last-
to the bigs right now is the Mandarin Duck squad. Both of those have, a lot of slots to fill. So they'll be.
Yeah,
I
they
feel
will-
as though.
Did you say slots or?
Yeah, I'm thinking that as well.
Oh no! I get it.
It was close enough, but it was definitely slots.
No, whose turn is
Yeah,
it?
slots. I heard slots. Yeah, slot machine.
But even still, plenty of slots to fill can also be taken out of context.
Ooh.
Elias is
Yeah,
interesting.
on the visa.
If swearing was disallowed, then that certainly was.
He can't go for 500. There's no way.
Yeah.
If it does, it's sort of a travesty. Right? But
Wow, Hudson Bay Bigs and Mandarin Duck squad still have a lot of players to field.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know,
Nilla Ninjas,
would they put
SKG,
money down
and
on
NWC only trying to field
oh,
their
almost certainly.
substitute player now.
Eliza is incredibly good for
Duck
how much
squad.
and his elo is
Elo-
trash at the moment, so he looks like he's way down on the list, but he should be sort of top 20 maybe.
Oh, 1,000 on that is good news for the bigs. I think that's. Oh, never mind. Bigs are putting down on Olivetsa.
Yeah.
Well, they need to kind of at this point.
I don't think it's the best pick, to be honest. I think there's still quite a few other good players, but
Joe
I
Mono's
agree.
there, though.
Ducks can.
Oh,
get-
maybe he just drove up the price for Duck.
Yeah,
No,
Ducks
Noel,
one
don't-
upped him, so maybe that's just Noel's plan. Like it doesn't matter if it
But
sells.
Noel's
to him or
typing.
not.
He's typing. No. Just let him go. Oh,
Oh, he does want it. He does want it. 1150.
Oops.
If we look at what other players have gone for here, so you have sort of GUA is a good example, 1175. I think that's sort of a level you want to be with Eliza. Maybe slightly more. But 1150 is not bad at this point. Noel still has the money, so he can go for Joe Mono,
Closed.
which is really what he
Sold.
needs. And
Yeah.
if he can get Lucas and Joe Mono, it'd be pretty good. But he needs to sort of force Duck to be buying relatively expensive players and have no money left, so he can get Joe Mono for basically nothing.
I think Olivetsa to the bigs is also kind of decent because they do have some synergy, just the
Yeah.
German-speaking core with Lucas and Olivetsa so far. And then they also get Jeramuno to bid on next.
Yeah.
And bigs could
It
definitely
looks like he's
contend
going
that.
for it. He did nominate Jeremuno. So I think this is going to be the last big bid between Mandarin Duck Squad and the Hudson Bay Bigs, right? They're still the only boss. Like that's a really good player too to pick up.
Yeah.
Victor Sweet is in the chat asking to be picked on. He's like, please let me be nominated, and hopefully we'll see Victor Sweet back in at later points.
Yeah, man. Being
certainly a
nominated
nice-
is a. If
certainly
you
a
get
nice
nominated,
player.
then it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Because in the grand scheme of things, like you have to be, playable in the sense that the team can play you.
1,500.
Oh, 2,000.
2,000. This
This
will be
is-
between bigs
It's okay
and
for Jeremuno.
Mandarin.
Actually, both players have roughly the same amount of coins and
Yeah.
both have 2 players. So really, Duck should try and sort of outbid Noel here. Duck does already have King of Osmond and Perez, so will have 3 good players. And at the same point, Biggs have Lucas and Eliza. So really, whoever gets this will be in quite a good spot here. And
yeah, that's a really good point. It's just the two teams bidding against each other, and everyone else is watching. So very interesting to see how these two teams interact with each other.
I think Duck just tries to drive up the price, and then he lets Noel have Jaramuno. That's what I would do if I were Duck.
Yeah, but
I'd rather save my money for.
No, well, Duck just got him for 2,350.
Oh,
that
wow.
is a steal.
I'm terrible at calling stuff.
But at the same time, it allows
Noel not happy.
Yeah, that's
but now
a
he
very
has
good.
20 for the only boss. So I
That's
think
a
like Noel's actually in a pretty
super
good spot right now.
That's a very good amount. Jaramuno is very good. So 2,350 is very good pick for
You guys don't
Mandarin
have any players. Yeah. Hudson Bay Bigs only
Noel
on
a bit
2
upset with
players so far.
with himself there.
But still, they have 4,000 coins just to try and pick up some of those other players we were talking about. Kaistus, Samurai Conqueror.
Sheckler's up to bat now.
Are easily worth 8,000 coins here.
I think Sheckler's a pretty good pickup at this point. I think Hudson Bay is at the very least position to get him, right?
500 coming in, opening offer.
The thing is with Sheckler, though, like, does he play any other civs apart from his Dutch?
No.
No.
So he's very easy to counter.
Yeah, that
10
was
seconds
a little
remaining.
Of a
500
mistake
coins
from the NWC because they're going to end up with 325 unused coins. I don't think anybody's bidding up on Sheckler.
Sold.
But Sheckler, to be honest, isn't an awful player. He can play against
Wait, where'd he go?
Sort of major level, I think, with his Dutch.
Perhaps,
Oh,
but
the
there are
World
some better
Challengers took him for
substitute slots.
500.
So
that's actually insane. 500 Duck coins for Sheckler is really, really good. That rounds out the new World Challenger roster.
I'm not entirely sure. You have players like Fard, which are much stronger than Sheckler. Who's only
Conqueror 999. There it goes.
You're right.
Oh, this will be a big one, guys. Get ready for.
It won't be big. It won't be big actually because the max bid for the Duck squad is 1325.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
So, yeah, there's no
Noel should do here
left.
Noel should bid at 1350 and then just call it. Yep, there you go.
There you go. There he is. Exactly.
In fact, Noel made a little bit of a mistake there. All he needed to do was bid 1325 instead of 1350, so he lost 25 Duck coins there.
That's a good point.
The same thing is also about the only boss here. He can be just picked for 1,500, right?
Yes, he can.
And that's a very good pick for Hudson.
And that is the advantage of waiting till the end.
Yeah, definitely.
But there are advantages to going first as well. But here we are seeing that play out.
Got Dennis nominated by Ace.
Dennis, 5 players remaining.
I think, considering Fard went for 850, I don't think people are going to be too up on Dennis, even though he's I'd say about the same skill level as Fard at the moment, although maybe not as high of a skill
major
ceiling,
level, isn't he?
Still, being picked at all is impressive.
Yeah.
If you get nominated at all, that's a good sign that you're a strong AoE3 player.
So Dennis for 500?
500 only? Okay.
Yeah, and the Nilla Ninjas and the NWC are both out. So both of those teams no longer have any bids to make. They don't have the coins to even nominate a player, so their roster is as is.
And
can you purchase more players than 5?
Yes, you can purchase up to 8, I believe.
Right.
Maybe
that might be a viable strategy with current times.
That both have 5 players have the same amount of coins left, 325, which is basically wasted right now, right? Whatever you have left is something you could have spent on a better player.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when he bidded for Dennis, he may have had a challenge to his bid, so could have needed to go above 500, and if so, he had that 350 leeway.
Yeah, but in hindsight, you don't want to have anything left.
Yeah. Well, you don't know how much people will be sold for, but I see your point. It seems like money that's not going to be used. But you never know. You might have needed that 350 to get the player you actually wanted.
If I had that same magical power, I'd be buying some lottery tickets right now. So.
Oh, Prince just put down 1325, the remainder of his coin on Hadamoto Samurai, and I think he's going to get it. Yep, there you go.
Sold.
Yeah. Wow, hey, that's a really good pickup, actually.
I would have gone for Baus instead of Archer first because he had sort of a free reign there.
Baus gonna be nominated now and will be picked by Big.
So, can you tell us, Comet K, which teams are yet to draft? Are still need players?
So Bigs need to get at least 2 more players, which means their max bid, they have 27.75. At the moment, their max bid is 22.75. Mandarin Duck Squad, 18.25. In the bank, max bid is 13.25. They still need to, both teams need to still draft 2 players. And that's a lot of numbers there, but basically the Bigs can upbid the Duck Squad on any bid they make at the moment. It seems like Noel is going to do that and pick up the only boss for the default 13.25 max price tag.
He knows what he wants.
He's got a good roster. He's got Conquer, a bunch of good treaty players.
Yeah, you got the number 1 and the number 2 treaty players on that roster.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a supremacy tournament.
Very good pick by Big.
Has Conqueror played recently in Supremacy? I haven't really seen
I don't know. That's a good question actually, because when he's on form, when he's on point, he's like really good. I think.
Yeah.
Even in Supremacy, but
he must be
well in like
Osman
quirky tournaments, right?
in his game in the last tournament.
Did he? Oh, I didn't realize. I didn't
did.
watch it, unfortunately.
It was a very close game.
Oh, here we go.
Minimal.
Minimal. How much do you think you will sell for?
500.
That would be a steal. That would really be a steal.
Yeah, I totally would.
It's old. And it's a really modest bet as well, because you can't be wrong. And if you are wrong, then you're just like, you look good.
It's a win-win. It's not going for 500. No one's bidding.
I think they're going to fight over you, Mini-Malt.
550?
See, no wins out here because he can spend all 1450 on it.
Yeah.
And it means Duck has... Yeah, so if Noel wants this player, he can get him. Obviously, he can get you. But really, if Noel then doesn't want it, he can pick literally anyone on the list who's left, and he gets it, basically.
The question is, does Duck actually want this, or is he forcing Noel to spend?
Sort of a poker game at this point.
Yeah, you don't know. That's the question.
Each other, whatever.
Yeah, they are poking each other now.
They're going up in increments of 25, so everyone being very, very modest here. There's no one that's really wants it, not going out to straight up 4,000 like we saw from A's earlier. Getting
looks like Noel letting it slip here.
Yeah,
gonna go to Duck. Yeah,
that's a good price.
Player number 4 is Mini-Malt.
I mean, Daniel to nominate anyone.
And
again,
he has to nominate at this point.
So we got Empire Boss.
Does he have to? Can't he just skip and then come
He already
back
used his skip.
He's already used
his okay, I didn't realize the skips were limited.
It's a really tight balancing act because he wants to bet on somebody who he thinks is worthy of being on his team in case the other managers don't upbid, but also somebody he's comfortable losing with, because if somebody makes a 525 bid, CMC can no longer get that player.
No, you're correct. Yeah, that's an interesting choice for Daniel at this point.
Really, really pressing, in fact. I mean, he's already assembled his core. He already has his main roster, so he's only vying for a substitute here, who may not even see play. But...
Riot!
Oh, wow. Okay. Now you get a taste of your own medicine, my friend.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
Riot Cake doesn't matter.
Yeah, this is a worthless pick.
I literally
why are we even commentating this?
Yeah, this is one of those shit players for 500.
Yeah, this is Riot Cake. I don't.
Dreadful.
Oh, and the other players.
I'll be flattered if
Right
Riot had value of 500
you
coins.
guys can just have them. It's really funny.
I have a positive win rate versus GUA, so you have to wait for that.
To be fair, as I said earlier,
get kicked out.
Being picked is it does say that you are have some value.
I think it's more so that it's a joke, though.
Yeah. You never know. You could end up playing with the current health crisis.
It's over. Okay.
HBC is still there. Someone can pick up HBC.
So, is everyone still their teams?
Nope. We're still waiting on the MDS and Biggs. Those are the only 2 teams vying for contention. They both need to get one more substitute slot, and after that, whoever is left with at least 500 coins can also place a bid for some.
They still have a lot of money for a substitute.
How much money do the 2 teams have?
Biggs has 1,450 and Mandarin Duck Squad has 1,150.
The Bigs can totally pick up Wukong if they want to. Wukong is theirs if Noel wants it.
Yeah, but there's also still Empire Boss left on 21. rank 21.
Oh,
I would take Wukul. I think Wukul's like really, really good.
I think the Ducks are going to pull away with Wukul.
If the Ducks get Wukul, then I want to see the Bigs go for Victor Sui.
Doesn't he have plenty of money to spend though? And he's not able to spend it if he just buys him for 1,000.
So unfortunately for the Bigs, they can only pick up 2 more players because they'll have 450 coins at the end of it. But now there is no more up for contention. They get 2 free picks at this stage.
I guess they pick up Empire Boss for free, right?
Yeah, Empire Boss for free, right?
So that means that they're going to end up with the most.
Oh, he's nominated Zuta.
Zuta.
What a meme.
Not a meme. Zuta used to be really, really good.
Yeah,
Zuta's like PR40 or so, wasn't he?
I think when you pick like someone who's rusty but who used to be good.
His EP Elo is 0 though, so
yeah, but he can play Japan. Like that man, that's like riding a bike for him. So I think if he gets into it, no problem.
Do you think like Zuta's put his name down for the memes, but actually wasn't expected to be picked? He's going to get some sort of phone call saying, "Hey mate, you need to play this best of 5 series tonight." He's like, shit.
No one's going to pick Victor Sui.
Actually, that's a fair point. Zuta may not be a very good pick at all, because if you do have to rely on him to actually play a game, he may well be be that man does not have a lot of time. That said, though, probably has a lot more time.
You should pick up Victor Sui too.
Oh, he's not going to be part of the league. That's so sad to see. But Zuta getting in ahead of his comrade Victor Sui. I'm sure Victor will be very disappointed with that one there.
That's pretty good.
If he just had 25 ducks more, he could also take Victor Sui, right?
Yeah, but he went for Empire Boss. You should be able to smurf GUA pretty easily here.
Yeah, and now it looks like he has got 450 left, which means just under a 500, so he cannot buy another player.
Yeah.
So this was what I'm talking about. The money they now have left, especially the bigs, is basically wasted, and no one must not feel great about letting some of his favorites slip away.
Yeah, especially earlier when Jeramuna was up for grabs and he was in the contention and didn't put down the extra bid. Now he probably regrets that, given he's got money left over. So does this money have any value at all now that the auction's closed?
Yeah, you can buy players from other teams again.
You can trade, right?
After the bidding, you can trade and stuff.
So can you trade players plus coins? So you can swap. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you can. But
how does the there's a mid-tournament auction again, isn't there?
Yes, so I mean there are quite a few powerful players still up for contention as long as they sign up. I mean, who we didn't see drafted, Victor Sui was a big name, a Robot, Hawk Girl, Give the Dirty, Clestry, I'm just going down the list, Eaglemut, Sarxian, Dark Sultan. There are quite a few good players that could still be bid on should they sign up for the mid-season auction. Of course, no team at the moment has above 500 credits, which is the minimum to place a bid. However, if trades go on from now up till the mid-season auction and those coins are jostled around as a prerequisite for those trades, then there is the opportunity for players who didn't get drafted today to get drafted during the mid-season auction, which will be in about a month.
So how does that work? Do you get more money during that auction, the mid-season auction?
You don't get more money, so what you see on the board is what the teams have. Of course, like I said, no team has more than 500 coins, so technically at the moment, let's say no trades went on this season at all, then there wouldn't be a mid-season auction, But if a trade does go on and that involves one team shifting some coins to another to complete the transaction, and that team has more than 500 coins, then they'll be able to place a bid and draft one more player at the mid-season auction.
Oh, this isn't over. There's the players are in the auction. They're talking about possibly trading right now.
Oh,
yeah.
Curacao Management Company admitting they would like.
I give you Riot Coke for Knusha.
That's too expensive, That's too much of a trade.
I give you Riot Coke for Noosh. That's fine.
Wait, what if the team
So technically, if NVC trades with Hudson Big and just gives like 50 ducks, Hudson Big could have then 500 ducks and just bid for mid-season, right?
Mm-hmm. I love that you say ducks. Like it's just I've got this image in my mind of someone trading thousands of birds for something.
Well, that was how this Wuhan crisis started.
Oh, that was bats, my friend.
Bat soup, wasn't it?
Oh, it wasn't bats. It was bats. Okay.
Yeah, bats are mammals, and it doesn't matter. But let's question. So Sompu Konku was sold to the Nilla Ninjas, but he's the leader, so to speak, of the SKG, and is not on the SKG clan. How do we feel about that? Because Azamp just came out with a 4,000 coin bid, an up bid from I think about 1,700 ducks. He just went straight up, no contention. Was that strategic to deny the SKG their clan leader, so to speak?
Are they going to swap Sampu and Neutral Bear?
I say clan leader like it's a role, but we all know what I'm trying to say.
These guys are pretty tight knit. I would have some weight to that.
Maybe he might try putting 1 week performance in, lose his match, and go, "Oh no, I'm a terrible player for your team. Can I switch over?" And then switch Neutral Bear for Sompu Konku, and Sompu will find his next gear, so to say, and smash and lead the SKG clan for their series victory.
But the problem for SKG is they got no money left, so they can't give anything to get Sampo rather than just Noosh.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Noosh is the only player on their team that would even come close to being, a viable trade. And they can't trade 2 players for him, because that's like then they don't have a full roster. So it looks like the SKG will not be able to get Sompu. And again, we're saying this as if the Nilla Ninjas even want to sell him, which Azamp, by the looks of it, does not.
Yeah, I don't think AZ is going to take that up. Who has the best team at this point?
I think Daniel. Not because I'm on it, but I think Daniel's team actually he's got Optimus there, he's got B1A, Castet, and Kevin Italian. Castet can probably play against some of those high-ranking players. Soldier, he can play against Lucas. We've seen him play well against Osmond.
High-ranking players.
Somali gaming is great as well, though.
Yeah, skating.
Nishibar, Kaister, Fart, and Hadamoto.
I think the Mandarin Duck squad being underestimated, but I guess they got a decent team. Like
I think
King
the
of
only
Osmond,
problem with
Jerimono, Perez.
Yeah, I think the only problem with the Mandarin Duck squad is they have to rely really heavily on their King of Osmond to try and win some matches, and then let the other players like Perez and Jerimono to kind of pick up the points where it matters. But I think King of Osmond will have a tough time versus other players like Lucas, Neutral Bear, Sompu. But I guess the champions are stuck facing each other team's champions though, so we won't see like King versus Kaiser or Hazard or Maito, that kind of tier of player. So I guess King is a very nice second tier player to have in your team.
On the flip side, who's got the worst team? Just some
statistically.
I mean,
I think Bigs as well.
NWC?
I think it's kind of close between the Bigs, NWC, and honestly, I would kind of think CMC might be a little weak. I'd say the best teams are MDS, SKG.
I don't think CMC is weak. You have to assume Kaiser's in there. Kaiser being probably one.
Kaiser, and then your second best is Lecastet, and then you kind of have 2 middle players with Optimus and Kevin Italien, and then Bo Winner on the 5th slot there. That's a decent roster, but there's not that much star power outside of Castet, and of course Kaiser. But everybody has a strong champion.
How do our predictions that you've just been saying line up with Wicked Cossack's rankings there? I'll paste them in the chat, in the Twitch chat. Do you think I should do that?
Sure, go ahead.
Well, he's made them public here, so yeah. So those are what Wicked Cossack just said he would have valued the teams at based on his pre-buy list before they went into the auction. What do we think of his values compared to what we've just been saying?
I think his estimation of Nilla Ninjas being the worst, I think, is possibly accurate. I'm worried for Nilla Ninjas. A lot is riding on Sompu Konku here, but the follow-up players behind it certainly are good players, but they may lose for their counterpart players in the other teams. And I think the middle bulk of Nilla Ninjas' team is the soft spot for other teams to pounce upon.
I think Ace was hanging out in our chat here, and I think he was looking for intel on, what the masses thought. And generally, you could be pretty accurate when you, if you use.
What? Look, listen to me, you Riot, like about the bunch of PR 25 to 28 talking about players. Like we know nothing. Like,
Yeah.
If Ace is using us as intel, he's come to the wrong place.
I don't know. I think as casters, you end up knowing more about the players than the players themselves, maybe. And how well they perform.
Yeah, there is a good overview.
But I sort of disagree with Wicked's rankings. I think CMC is probably higher, simply because he's probably ranking soldiers as higher than Cassette by the same degree, and I don't entirely think that's true. Because Soldier is, as you said, sort of second tier player, and Cassette is getting to a level where he's sort of top 8 if you look at his tournament performance, and it's sort of, in a way, it's that top player which really matters, and NWC doesn't really have a top player to say released. Hello, Adam.
You're right. I heard you were talking about.
Yeah. Can you tell us a bit about how you generated those values, and are you pleased with your team? Because highest.
Yeah, we're pretty pleased. We were hoping it was going to go better actually, but we're pretty happy with that. And it's all down to our special spreadsheet and the modelization. So,
is this model something you've been able to produce because of professional expertise, or is this just?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're the only team capable of producing this spreadsheet.
I mean, you were an accountant.
Exactly. So but yeah, we'll see.
Solid mathematics degree.
Yeah, to be honest, looking at all of the teams, it all seems actually pretty even. So I think it's going to be a pretty good league. There's no standout team, if I'm honest, and a lot of it does depend on just who shows up on the day, and because we got Ezad. I never played the guy. I have no idea how good he is.
You made Garden drop twice.
So it's a bit of a risk, but overall we're happy.
Cheers for your insight.
Yeah. Once I just watched a stream of Garja Ezat just demolishing Garja, and he was just like so mad, and it was like so funny to watch it.
That does sound like Garja.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen after this? Do we have time for a show match perhaps? Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of players online right now.
Yeah,
a lot of casters as well.
Personally, I do have to run after this, but Edie Holland, if you'd like to take over, a show match I think would be great.
Well, I don't know. I'm just wondering if there's anything on schedule.
Nothing on the docket for today.
I would like to challenge Riot.
No, let's not do that. Yeah, there's we can host so much, I guess.
What's up, boys?
What's up, Noel?
Yeah. Hello, Noel. Do you want to tell us how you feel about your team?
I feel good about my team, but I'm pretty disappointed because I really thought I could get T, and then I was listening to Riot, and Riot told me I couldn't do it because of the math, and I trusted him instead of just putting the bid in, and he fucked me.
Listen. He cucked you. I mean,
that CMC got a nice snipe on Le Castet. It was,
I mean, and then I messed up on Jiramuno. I thought that I had my bid in right, and I didn't.
So that's a shame. Yeah, we noticed you had coins left over at the end, and we thought, you must be regretting the letting Jiramuno slip there.
I still feel pretty confident.
I was wondering why you guys...
At the bottom side of our bracket, or at the bottom side of our list, we're probably the best.
So Daniel, you can't see him speaking at the moment on the overlay just because it's channel. But Daniel, what do you think about your team?
So I think my team has the potential to win this. It just all sort of depends on how everyone's feeling, because I feel like I've got a lot of wild cards. B winner in there always can get a few wins against top players with his Ottomans. Optimus, sort of a wild card as well. Sort of depends how he's feeling on the day. Yeah, I sort of wanted to get Noosh, but obviously I sort of typed the wrong number in, so I was trying to get him, but didn't work out in the end.
You might have the best team though. It's really, really arguable, but you might. Do you agree with that, or who do you think the best team is?
I think. Hold on, let me see. I think our team's probably top 3, I guess. I think the only other team I can see competing with us is probably SKG or New World Champions. I don't know. It's sort of hard to tell, to be honest.
I mean, I think a lot of it comes down to the matchups, right?
Yeah,
because
for sure.
there's a lot of teams that have players kind of in the same, let's say, same tier. And I think this is going to come down a lot to who gets matched up where, what the map set is, because this map set with a lot of new maps in it, I think comes down a lot to preparing a strategy. So I think teamwork with inside the teams is going to be a big factor in this EPL, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Do you guys have any comments on Sampu Konku not going to the SKG and instead being picked up by the Nilla Ninjas?
Wasn't it the same last EPL?
No,
Sampu was in SKG.
Well, Sampu was the champion for SKG, but he stepped down for the season.
It was Prince then, perhaps, who wasn't in that.
Yeah, Prince was the leader of the team.
It was Hazza that was not in the.
Hazza was in CMC.
I knew it was one of the 3 that wasn't drafted in there.
Any comments on it though?
I think he's sort of hit and miss. It depends if he's drunk on the day, you know. I think that's how it is.
Yeah,
I mean, I was surprised Prince spent his money early because I thought for sure he'd be saving to get Sampu.
I don't know. I think Sampu on the Nilla Ninjas, I think they're a respectable roster, and I don't think he's going to be sad to be playing for them. Of course, maybe it's not his preferred team.
Maybe it's sabotage.
SKG is pretty solid, and
I mean, Sampu in EPL 1 beat Nush, right? So if you just go by that one match, well worth the 4K price, but I don't know.
He went 4-11 the first time as well, which wasn't amazing.
All right. So I have 2 final questions potentially before we end the stream. I'm not sure what if Comic K needs to go, but question number 1: who do you guys think was the biggest steal, like the cheapest player that could have gone for more money? Do you regret not purchasing them, or were you not able to? Who do you think that person was?
I think it was. Go ahead.
Yeah, so for me, I think it was Noosh. I had him valued at around 4.7k. That would have been my max bid on him, but obviously things didn't turn out well due to the misclick.
Okay, Noosh. Anyone else have any thoughts on that?
Perez easily. Of course, I think the reason his price was so low was because, you know, he's kind of in a shifty situation where he may not be able to play for the first few weeks. But I think he's batting way above that price tag. I'm trying to get a look at it and see who else sold for around his price.
For 2,000.
I think Perez compared to De Winner, who also sold for 1,550. Perez is quite a good deal better. And even in weeks where, you know, Perez can't show up to play, like the MDS has a fair roster. They have King of Osmane in that second slot below Mido. Then they have Jeramuno, then they have Wookle, then they have Minimolt, and that's a good roster, even without Perez. And when they have Perez in that week, I think they really are the strongest team, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I think that's a steal.
Perez was the best pick. I just wanted to mention that too. Besides, maybe the only boss could also gone for more ducks, but I guess the best steal was like Perez, no doubt.
If he can play, I agree.
Yeah, if he has a PC.
MDS has discussed, and we will be shipping him a computer if he cannot play. So he will be able to play.
Wow,
really
that's
it'll come out of his tournament winnings.
Maybe that's
not for free.
Maybe that's why he was bidded on so low, just in case he wasn't able to play. It's a high risk.
That's why I didn't bid on him at all.
Right.
Yeah, me neither.
So
because he's been very clear that he can't play, and even if he does play, he's have not played for 5 weeks. That means something.
That's a fair point.
Also, on his active times, just we could maybe compare Perez ELO now with Kevin Italian, and he just got sold for 2.2k.
Yeah.
Where Perez just for 1.6. So that's a very good one.
I was
makes a
really
good
looking
point.
to get Kevin Italian for a deal, and then it seems like everyone was thinking that.
Shipping a PC to Perez may be challenging with the current logistics chains as well. But next question, since Prince has joined, I want to ask him, how do you feel about not having Sompu on the team?
Oh, I'm about to probably trade him.
Oh, I see. Okay. So
we already talked about.
The answer is quite disappointed by the sounds of it. I presume you're selling Noosh just because he's the highest value team that A's will probably accept.
Yeah, I think I'm talking to ISOC right now, and trade might happen very, very soon. And I'm not gonna tell yet which will be the outcome of the trade.
Okay.
If you're looking for a third team to participate,
yeah, it's likely.
Join me in.
That's really interesting to hear. Okay, and my other question was the opposite of the first one. Who do you think was the biggest, the most expensive player that sold, above their value?
As in, like, what's the biggest ripoff?
Yeah, exactly.
God, that's an interesting one.
I do think Sampu was a little.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm worthless, but
I think
Riot Coke, he's gonna boost the morale of CMC for sure.
Yeah.
King of Osmane, I think maybe overvalued his last tournament. I don't know. I could be totally wrong on that.
So
I think
another
Four
point.
Justice has to defend himself as well at 2100.
But
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable
I
assessment.
think due to the elo, King Onage is like the same level like Kevin Italian and Perez and also Jerry Muno, I guess.
No, he's not.
He's not?
No, he's no way the same level of Kevin Italian and sort of B winner. He's up there, sort of the Castet level. We saw him actually beat. No, he beat Castet 2-0 in the last tournament, and he also beat Sompu as well. So really, I think he's up there, but he probably isn't the same level as Lucas. Isn't the same level as he's definitely. I think he's better than Soldier, almost certainly. But
King Onage is not better than Soldier.
Oh no, sorry, King of Osman or King Onage? Which one are you talking about?
I thought you were talking about King Onage.
Oh no, I was talking about King of Osman.
No, I was mentioning King Onage.
Oh, that's my mistake.
So
yeah, King Onage is probably the same level as B winner and that sort of level.
and I guess he was just sold out for lots of money.
Yeah,
I guess like
2,600 is a bit too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the point of Riot Coke being the biggest ripoff, yes, he is a substitute, so it probably won't matter. But Riot Coke, I think you have a lot of, as a caster, knowledge about players and matchups, and you have a lot of thoughts generally about how things should be done, which I think you put a lot of time into coming up with or have really good reasons for. So having you on the team, even if you don't play, might actually be valuable.
Yeah, I guess so. I can be biased while casting. There you go. I can do that.
That's true. You now have a team to root for, I suppose.
And I can make fan art or something. I don't know. But
yeah, well, maybe that. Hold on, it's a tactical investment because if you're casting, they can rely on you to get the right rehost. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I can check their hunts even more so than the other ones. But,
yeah, you can be like, this map's not balanced in the right way. Let's rehost it.
To be fair, Riot could be like, oh, giving anxiety's got a 5th hunt near his TC. Rehost that one.
Get you excited, will do that himself. No worries.
So who haven't we heard from? Maite's in here. I don't know if he wants to give us his 2 cents on the teams overall. I know he's obviously playing for who the hell is he playing for? The Mandarin Duck squad. But yeah, Maite, do you have any thoughts on the teams that have been selected overall?
Nothing major. I mean, same thing that Wicked Cossack was saying. I think most teams are probably pretty even. There's a couple of players in here that I think might be a little bit inconsistent, and so the results may vary. But overall, I think it'll be a close season, and hopefully Perez will have a computer at some point.
Yeah. Are you one of those players that are inconsistent that you just mentioned?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Very good. All right, I think
we
that's
made sure
going to
to
be
draft the person who beat me in the last tournament. So
fair. Yeah. Reasonable strategy. Did you guys have or how much input did you have with Duck on the list, the pre-buy? Did you have a pre-buy or was it that fleshed out?
We talked a little bit about players we were looking for. Nothing set in stone, but yeah, we talked through pretty much every pick on the draft today.
Yeah, fair enough. Sounds like Wicked Cossack came at this with the most preparation in terms of like an actual mathematical model that predicts. I don't know. I really wonder if he was like plugging in who bought what and then the spreadsheet like updated based on like, you know, win rates of certain players against other players. I really wonder how sophisticated this spreadsheet was, or if I'm overthinking it.
Oh,
really
there's an
overthinking it,
agreement.
surely.
Okay, looks like there's a trade, and I think that will conclude the stream unless Comet says otherwise. But tell us this trade. What's going on?
So they're just finalizing the details now. Of course, it's gonna have to run it by the admins first. Myself, Brooke, and Bramboy. But pretty much as long as it doesn't break the parameters of the event, as in like one team has too few players than is necessary, then it should be acceptable.
Oh wait, has Prince had to pick up another player in order to trade perhaps 2 players? What's going on? I don't understand why you would mention it breaks the parameters of the event. So I've assumed that someone's trading 2 players for 1.
Basically, if a team didn't have a substitute, if they were trying to trade a 2 for 1 and that left them without a substitute player, which is essential to the event, that would be broken, and we wouldn't be able to accept that. But of course,
Yes.
it does seem like we have the.
But is that what Prince has tried to do? Is someone tried to sell 2 players and then he's had to try and get another substitute team just to fulfill the requirements of the event? How has this trade taken place? Who was traded? What for? What were the other negotiations with other? Were there multiple teams involved in this transfer?
I can't give you the details just now. If you give me a minute, I will be able to. But it's
all right. Let's hang on then.
Details.
Let's keep the stream going until we know, because it's got to be done. We can't like end the stream on that note.
I'm assuming something.
Right. Well, he
Can
said
I just talk about?
Oh yeah, well, Comic Case told us now, isn't he? He said that it can't break the parameters of the event, which definitely signals a 2 for 1.
It's not a 2 for 1 because that would break the parameters, but
yes, but then he would get his extra player from another team that has 6 players or something.
That would still break the parameters of the event. It can't be a 2 for 1. It can be a 2 for 2. I think that's what you're trying to.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay.
I guess it could be something like Somali Kabuli doing a trade with Hudson Bix and getting some dogs, and then giving the dogs and plus Noosh to Nilla to get a sample. That could be something.
Interesting.
I mean, the decision from A's to pick up Sampu, even at a pretty steep price, I think is turning out to be quite smart if he knows that Prince is willing to fork over potentially some of his best picks just to get Sampu on SKG. So I don't know. A's, like if you look at A's team and A's performance in the draft, it looks like he doesn't have a lot of strategy. He's kind of off the cuff, but I think I mean, as we saw last time, it ends up working out for him, right? They won the last event, so.
Yeah, and clearly, I think A's pick was very strategic because Sampu seems to be incredibly valuable to the SKG. I think yeah, that's a good point. Question in the chat: Blizzard says, is there going to be a show match after this? Because we're going to hang on with this stream until the transfer is confirmed. And then after that, I believe it will be the end, as we've asked all of the questions that can be asked, I believe.
I'll just speak in advance. There won't be a show match on ESOC TV, but there is a 3v3 tournament being hosted by Jailed, the Jailed 3v3 tournament. And that's going on at the moment. It's actually, I think, the semifinals and the finals being hosted today.
Oh, wow.
And so
That's
we'll be
cool.
hosting them afterwards, and that'll be pretty interesting.
Yeah, cool. All right. Is there an ETA comment on the transfer? If not, I'll post that particular stream in the chat if anyone wants to head early and perhaps get the results later. Of course, we'll host afterwards, but how long do you think until we know the results? Interesting stuff.
Shouldn't be more than a minute here.
Oh, the tension is killing me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, me too.
All right, so I can confirm the trade that just went through. So the Nilla Ninjas, they had Kanoosh and they had shit. Let me see here.
You got it wrong straight
They
away.
had Kanoosh and Haramoto Samurai, if I'm not mistaken. Jesus, I need to see the teams.
So SKG had Noosh and Harcher Hatamoto Samurai.
Yes. Okay. Yes, my mistake. Okay, so the Nilla Ninjas, they have Fluntier and Sampu Kunku. I can confirm that Fluntier and Sampu Kunku are going to SKG, and in trade, the Nilla Ninjas are getting Kanoosh and Haramoto Samurai from SKG. So those players, Kanoosh and Haramoto Samurai, are now a part of the Nilla Ninjas crew.
Wow. I wonder how they feel about just being fobbed off. Equally, though, SKG do get Sampu Konku. Guys, what do you think of the trade?
Overall, that looks pretty fair.
Yeah.
I believe Nushelbar was on Aze's team last time and they won, so I don't think he can be too upset about being traded away.
Yeah, there's going to be that camaraderie from before.
True.
I think it might be that SKG wanted Sampu, but didn't feel like trading just one player off, because looking at the winter tournament in the intermediate division, Frontier did win the division, and Harcher or Hatamoto Samurai did come first. So you can kind of say that the Frontier Harcher pick is better for SKG, and then the neutral bear Sampu is better for Nilla Ninjas. I guess it's a bit of a balancing trade there. Otherwise, just swap in Noosh for Sampu Konku outright. Although you get the brothers and the band back together, I think A's will be very happy with that single trade.
Yeah, I want to know how that affects Wicked Cossack's numbers that he posted earlier. But yeah, that trade happened. Someone asked, how long is the transfer window? The answer is players can be transferred, I believe, at any point throughout the entire event. Is that right?
Not throughout the entire event. It does end after the mid-season auction. After the mid-season auction and going into week 4, teams will be locked in until the end of the event.
Interesting. Okay, and what is the prize pool for this tournament?
Currently, it's sitting at $1,300. Of course, 50% of all donations received throughout the event, which is the next 2 months, will go towards the prize pool. So we're sitting at $1,300 right now, trying to get up to our donation bar is set for $1,500, and if we reach that goal, we'll have a $2,000 prize pool for the event. But currently, sitting at $1,300.
That's really cool. I love how this is structured, because it's all about a team, and we're going to see some players that would normally not see ESOC prize money simply because it goes to first, second, third. And here they will be able to work as a team to get a nice share of it. So really like that structure. But with that transfer complete, and it doesn't look like, unless I'm wrong, Comic K, there are any more transfers likely to happen in the next, now.
I think there may be some more trades. Daniel did propose to Azamk something, but I don't see any details confirmed. No tags at the moment, so it might be within the next 15-30 minutes. I think we'll have to carry that on outside of the stream.
I think so, especially with that tournament going on, right? It'd be good to send everyone that way and see that. But yeah, keep an eye on ESOC, because I'm sure the details will be posted there. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in to the EPL 2 live auction. The production quality much higher this time. Really, really enjoying the overlays, and was very, very interesting to watch. So thank you very much to Comic K, and I suppose we will see you all. When is the very first? When's the tournament starting?
Yes, so we do have a break week coming up just for the teams to get together and cement strategies for week 1. Week 1 will begin Monday, if I'm not mistaken, April 6th. And of course, that extends to that Sunday, April 12th. So week 1 starting, let me confirm, yes, April 6th. Yes.
All right, you heard it here. And of course, do subscribe on YouTube, where you can catch all of our previous tournaments here at ESOC as well. If you're not sure what to watch, I would just recommend starting with a grand final, just because they're good. But yes, links below. We're now going to send you all over to Jailed, hosting a 3v3 tournament, which is currently in the semi-finals, and I believe we'll be seeing the finals today as well. So thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we'll see you all again on the 6th of April.
Yes, thank you all for watching, and thank you, gentlemen, for appearing in the stream today.